Everybody, welcome back to Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. It is Halloween. It's festive time of the year as we get into the holiday season, the last couple of months of the year. But before that, we have Lieutenant Blake Tabor with the Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Department is here to talk. We're going to talk a little bit about Halloween and those kind of things. But first, a troubling incident that happened, and you guys made an arrest and a rape.
Absolutely. So on October 26th, we had a victim come forward and made us aware of some pretty serious allegations in regard to the adult female being raped and battered in a domestic violence incident. So ultimately, our special victims unit, who is our resident experts in this field, they come in, and anytime we have these investigations, we do a pretty extensive interview with the victim, if possible. And so, of course, in this circumstance, that was completed. And once we were able to determine that, detectives quickly determined that the allegations that she made against the suspect, who she identified as an Andrew William Melanson, you see him photographed here, was confirmed and substantiated versus the evidence that was found at the scene. Ultimately, after that discovery, it led to a warrant being obtained for his arrest for the charges of first degree rape and domestic abuse battery by strangulation. We quickly were able to locate him at his place of business, take him into custody without incident, and that, of course, led to another interview with him where, of course, he confirmed some of the allegations that were made, but not all. So ultimately, he was jailed at the Terrebonne Parish Criminal Justice Complex, where he's still awaiting trial.
I see. Yeah, that's got to be a lot of police work involved in that because obviously in these situations, a lot of times there will be he said, she said. So you got to make sure you have the right
Yeah,
evidence.
and the reality is we want to get it right both
Mhm.
ways. We
Sure.
want to be there for the
Right.
victim, but we want to make sure that we're not putting the wrong person in jail.
Right.
So pretty
Yeah,
extensive
absolutely.
investigations.
Domestic things like that are always tricky when it comes to those kind of things. Let's talk about Halloween, and as we do prepare for Halloween and that season, uh, it's getting darker earlier.
Yep.
Obviously we're about to change times as well. But as we start Halloween, how important is it for people to be aware that kids in dark uniforms may be running around neighborhoods right
It's extremely important, and that's some of the safety tips that we put out. If you go into neighborhoods that are maybe not your own, we certainly want people parking on the side of the roadway. Get out and walk. It's beautiful weather tonight. I know it's a little
now? A little
chillier
chilly.
than
Yeah, we
we're
got the
normally
outfits right.
used to, but it's our turn. We get
Hmm.
to enjoy the weather. But again, any time that we can alleviate any time of vehicle traffic inside of neighborhoods, it's always a benefit. So, that's the thing. The other things that we're talking about is, again, make sure that you're keeping an eye on your kids. A lot of times, these kids get to a certain age and they think that it's okay to go off on their own, and we always obviously do not recommend that. So make sure you're keeping a close eye on them. Make sure you're going into neighborhoods that you're aware of and you're sort of familiar with. And again, another component of this, if you're getting out at a convenience store, make sure that you're taking your mask off before you go in. That could always be a very detrimental thing.
Right. Yeah. For many years, mask on was the was the main thing you had to do before you go on. Now you want to see your face a little more, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have to make sure, because things can be said nowadays, and allegations can be made. And, again, it takes a few seconds for something bad to happen.
Right. Halloween has always been a little bit, as we get a little older, it turns into a different holiday as we get older, right? So, same kind of deals, rules apply as any kind of festive part. If you go to a party, make sure you don't get overserved and try to get on the road.
Absolutely. And that's another big component. We see a lot of people that are maybe not going out to bars as much during this holiday, or you're hanging out at a friend's house. Again, by all means, make sure that you're sober if you're going to drive, or call a friend. And there are circumstances where our agency has even been called.
Right.
We try not to promote that service, but if it depends on you driving impaired or calling someone to get you home safely, we would much rather do that.
Right. I mean, we do have Uber and those types of
Sure.
things around here, but it's kind of limited and it's can't be
Absolutely.
a big scale like, a convention city or something like that. So
Absolutely.
always, we don't have an age limit for Halloween, do we?
We do not. But the times for trick or treating are specifically from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And, again, Sheriff Saunier would like everyone to know that we're going to have close to 100 additional officers out on the street above and beyond what we would normally have on any type of patrol night. And, this is a tradition for us. I mean, we enjoy getting
Sure.
out there in the streets. We enjoy interacting with the children and the parents, seeing all the spooky costumes and, really interacting with the public, which is something, we are able to increase nowadays, but something that, needs to happen.
Yeah, and mosquitoes should be down a little bit anyway. We can enjoy those things, but a lot of people will be on the back of wagons. They'll be carrying scooters. They'll be in that kind of thing. So that's another thing that people need to be careful they don't fall off of, fall under, those kind of things.
And look, another hot topic is: are we allowed to drive four-wheelers?
Four-wheelers, right?
Four-wheelers on the roadway. There are some laws pertaining to that. So, again, we approach it in this manner. Make sure that you're not operating that vehicle impaired. Make sure that you're obeying all the traffic laws. And, there's some things that can be overlooked as long as you're doing it in a safe manner.
Yeah, like golf carts, right? Similar type things, right?
Absolutely. Just, again, use your good judgment. Make sure you're obeying the traffic laws. You're not doing anything that's out of the ordinary. And things will be fine.
Yeah. No, this is a great time, and it is a big part of our community. I mean, Christmas is family, right? Everybody seems to get together, but Halloween, you're going out and meeting the extended family, which makes it a great holiday for that.
Absolutely. Look, it's something we look forward to every year. And again, this year we're the same.
Meet your neighbors, get to say hello to your neighbors. It's one of those good holidays, and so let's make it a safe one.
Absolutely.
All right, Lieutenant Tabor, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more Bayou Time.